Hey guys, so I'm gonna do a Q&A today. So any kind of questions or anything like that, I'm here ready for you. But the main topic is today is being good, boring, and is being bad really fun, right? And why should we should we be good or should we be bad, right? Which is more fun, which kind of makes you live your ultimate life, right? Like, is being good makes you live your ultimate life, or is being bad makes you live your ultimate life? So my name is Greta. I am mindset and business coach. And yeah, so let's talk about this topic. Hey Berson, hey Han. So I'm gonna do Q&A. So if you have any questions towards personal development, drop them in. While at the same time, I'm gonna talk about the topic: is being bad make you live your ultimate life, or is being good make you live your ultimate life? Okay. So let's look at what consequences being bad brings. And what is being bad? Being bad is doing as you please, or being bad is actually falling in devil's traps, actually, in other words. So what could it mean? Being bad is not getting out of bed because you're feeling lazy or you want to have that extra sleep. Being bad is watching TV all day, right? Because you're like maybe eating junk food and watching TV all day. Being bad is losing emotional control, right? What else could be of being bad? Being bad could be, like doing things that you should not be doing, not following the rules, right? So for example, if people say to you, don't have one night stands, and everyone's kind of pushing you towards it, and we're like, oh, having one night stands, it's fun, or let's go try some orgies or threesomes or whatever else, life is for living and so on. And you get like, tempted in this whole, in this whole thing, like that's being bad. Um, Being bad is lying and so on. Now, like taking drugs and so on. Now, where does it kind of lead you when you behave this way? When you fall for these temptations and you behave this way, right? You think like, oh my God, you only live once, you need to try things out in life. Like, why should I control my emotions? I should just tell people how I feel. Drama is fun, gossiping is fun, right? Now, where does it leave you? It leaves you to living it leaves you to self-destruction, leaves you to, I think a best example of it is actually, I don't want to say names, but I'll say this name is Justin Bieber. I started following him recently, and I didn't even realize he was out of the picture for the last few years. And I watched his story and I was just blown away, right? Because he was living his life, he was living a dream life of a teenager or a young adult by being bad, right? And falling into this deception, right? And what were his consequences? The consequences ended up being really, really ugly. And now he decided to be good because he ended up facing those consequences. And he's like, hold on, if we should live freely without any rules, why am I feeling so bad? Why do I have these bad consequences? So as tempting as being bad is, the consequences of that are really, really unhealthy. And long term, you lose your goals, you're not on the track, you lose your dreams, you become a lazy person, you become a deceiver, you start feeling guilty. Actually, a lot of people, when you keep doing a bad thing over and over and over again, you end up seeing it as normality. And you don't even feel guilty anymore. And This is a big problem of today's society. A lot of us are encouraged and pushed doing many bad things, or actually many sins. And we see both sins as normality. However, just because everyone is doing the same thing, the same sin, it doesn't make it acceptable, right? So, and the examples of being bad, they are just, unlimited. But now let's think of how can being good, like, is being good living your ultimate life, right? What is being good? And a lot of people think that naive people are good, right? A lot of people think that being naive, good girl, is actually you're being a good person. Not necessarily. When you're actually being naive, falls into a category of being bad, because if you are letting other people manipulate you and take advantage of you, because you are not doing enough of research towards this topic or towards that specific guy or specific person, that's actually naive. And there is no respect for naive. The first time, yes, somebody might take advantage of you, but the second time you need to know better, right? Otherwise, you're just being deceived. When someone's deceiving you, it is your fault as well. Like, if the devil or the guy or anyone else is deceiving you, and if you fall into their trap, like, you're like, okay, I'm gonna be a bit religious, but you're not going to heaven. Right? You're deceived, so you can't say, oh, I'm sorry, the devil has deceived me, like, let's blame the devil, right? No, Lord says, take responsibility for yourself. Don't be deceived by the devil, right? So God is actually teaching you, as in being good, being naive, that's not an excuse. Like, you have to take responsibility for yourself, for your own behavior, and be logical and follow the rules in being good. I was talking to, I have kind of like a friend that I'm talking a lot about the good and the bad and so on. And she's like, oh, but Greta, it's like there's so many rules and it's so hard to be good. And, if I'll just like, it's just too much, I won't be able to enjoy life, and that's not the point. Like, when you are actually a good person and when you do the right thing, the consequences of you doing the right thing in here are amazing. They are phenomenal. You're gonna feel confident, you're gonna feel fearless, you're gonna feel not dependent on other people, you're gonna feel strong, you will feel amazing, and at the end of the day, you did the right thing, right? So then, by doing the right thing, even if you're losing your friends, you are gaining the strength and the confidence to achieve the good things in life that you want to achieve, right? If you are too scared to do the right thing because you think, oh, my friend is not gonna like me anymore, right? My friend, she's gonna, like, for example, your friend texted you something about someone, right? And you don't want to talk bad about that person because you're like, okay, I'm gonna be good, but I'm not gonna gossip to my friend about this person. So, my friend is kind of expecting me to gossip about her, but I'm not gonna gossip about her. My friend will probably be like, not happy with me because I'm not gossiping about her, right? So I'm gonna try and do the right thing, but I might lose my friend a bit because I'm not the same person, not behaving as my friend is expecting me to behave, right? Yes, the short consequences will be that you might end up losing this friend, But the good consequences will be that once you keep doing the right thing, this is when your self-esteem, self-love, self-value, self-worth is growing. You're becoming a stronger person. You're becoming a confident person. You're becoming a fearless person. And with these type of qualities, you're capable of anything you want in life, right? A lot of women, they want so many things, but they are so needy, and we lose emotional control, and we blame and complain. We don't take any responsibility. You know, like if you don't take responsibility for yourself and you're just blaming others, you know, that's not an excuse. You know, that's just not an excuse. It's this excuse is not accepted, right? You're still being bad. Blaming and complaining, it's actually getting involved into drama and still being bad. So the outcome of being good would be you actually are capable of living your ultimate life, because again, you're fearless, you're confident, you're doing the right thing. It makes you good to do the right thing. You know, this is how you live your ultimate life. You don't have any grudges, you don't feel any guilt. You know, you feel good, you're helping people, you're helping others, you're giving to charity. Being bad, you're trying one night stands, threesomes. I'm just gonna lie to this girl, I'm never getting married. I'm never getting married because I have an image that having, you know, 10 women, sleeping with 10 women every single day, or, you know, once half a year or a couple, you know, it's so much better than, you know, being married to that one person. Is that what's that talking? That's just the devil talking to you. That's just the devil being deceptive. Yeah, don't get married. Don't have a family. Don't have a family. Go sleep around. Go sleep around. You know, it's so much better. You know, just keep following my way, right? And when you're 50 years old, no family, no kids, no wife, do you feel good? You know, it's ridiculous. It's so ridiculous. But especially in places, I feel like London, New York, you know, the big towns, big cities, we are so influenced to believe that doing the bad thing is really good. We are so influenced to believe that it's acceptable and you kind of nearly have to be bad. You know, if you're not doing things, we call bad being open-minded. Oh, I'm having threesomes. I'm open-minded. You're not gonna sleep with me? You're not open-minded. Look at all these open-minded girls around you. You have to enjoy yourself. Be open-minded. In London, we are open-minded. Great. Okay, let me see your comments. Anyone has any questions towards anything? I thought I'll do a little Q&A. Ooh. Right. Hey Greta, hi. Gossip. Yeah. Love to see you. I used to gossip before, by the way, ladies. I used to enjoy gossip before. Not like gossiping about bad stuff, but talking about drama. And you know why I used to enjoy talking about drama? Because I had nothing going on in my life. This is why, because drama was fun, right? Like, then was it 7 years ago or something, maybe 6 years ago, right? I actually used to like, I'm honest with you girls. What I'm sharing with you, I have done these things. I never share things that I have not done, and I'm like, I'm actually proud of it to be like that, because otherwise, like I seen some coaches who preach what we are not doing. It's like, that's, how does it make sense? You know, it's like you kind of have to go through these experiences to preach anything. It just doesn't make sense, you know. So 8 years ago, me and my friends, we used to gossip, not gossip like bad about people, but it's still gossiping. It's like, something bad happened. It's like, I would literally nearly would make notes in my mind. Okay, when I'm going to see my friend, I'm going to tell her this story, and I'm going to tell her this story, and then I'm going to tell her this story, and I'm going to tell her this story. Woohoo. And then we're going to watch Kardashians and eat crisps or go for a little walk and talk a bit more, right? That was my life, right? I would work as a nanny, and then when I see my friends, this is what I would do, and my friend would laugh and so on. And what was happening, in the meantime, I was feeling sad, and I was feeling not happy, and I started feeling like, is that it to life? Do I just go to job 9 hours a day or 12 hours a day at that time? Do I just have like a boyfriend? And and when I see my friends, we gossip, and is that it to life? Like, what's life? You start feeling like bored, you're like, it's kind of like, so drama ends up being kind of nearly the only entertainment that you have. And where does it take you? Nowhere. It's a waste of time. It's literally a waste of time. And many people live their lives like that. Okay, I lost your comments. Let me see more comments. Here we go. Okay, so I'm just gonna, I lose all my friends. Ladies, it is difficult when you are being good. As it says in a holy books, the doors to heaven are very narrow, the doors to hell are very wide. Why? Because it's very easy to be lazy, and it's very easy to be bad. I think friends, first of all, we always deserve a chance, because nobody's perfect. We're not here to judge. We are all sinners. Nobody's perfect, right? And I think every single person deserves a chance. And the best way to influence another person to be good, or to live a life in a healthy way, is by you yourself living a life in a healthy way. So whenever we will come to you and you're always doing the right thing, you're empowering them, and you're like kind of avoiding gossip and so on, after a while they will start seeing you as inspiration. And when we are getting depressed, we're gonna be like, why is Greta always happy? How come? Like, why? Maybe I should copy what she does. So this is like, and then you can share some things with her, and slowly this is how you can influence people to be better. If obviously after a while you can see that we're getting too rebellious, and we don't want to follow you, and we're getting angry and anxious and so on, and we want to leave, let them naturally drop off, but in your heart you will actually know that, I done the best that I could. Sometimes, however, if you're really focused on your goals and your dreams, because not all of us are, I know I am, and I was, right? Now I'm a little bit more flexible, but before I was like super focused. I didn't see anyone. If you're crazy focused, man, obviously for a couple of years, in your life, you may not have time to help others or influence others to change themselves, right? You might just be like, okay, this person I don't have time. She just always gossips, and she just gives me bad energy. I do not have time to influence her to be good at this point being, but because I need to put myself first and do these things so I can give more to others, right? Because the goal you're in life, the true happiness comes from giving, right? When I started my business, my first thing was not to buy a fancy house, not to buy a, this or that. My first dream was to buy my parents a house. That was my first goal, because I knew if I'll do this for my parents, it's gonna make me feel so amazing, like so amazing, right? Because you want to give back. And obviously, if you can do something like that for your parents, you can give a lot to yourself too, right? But my point is, in life, your ultimate happiness is giving, right? So don't be obviously stupid, don't give away everything, but your focus should be on yourself, and others need to understand and support you when you're like, okay, mom and dad, I'm literally gonna ignore you for a few years, right? But when I'm stable and when I'm cool, you guys are all good. I'm gonna look after you. Your parents will be like, okay, Greta, any support you want? Do you want me to bake you some cake? I'll get you some takeaway. You just work, honey. We are your biggest fans, right? But if your goals are selfish, right, and you keep achieving things in life, you just keep stepping up, you'll feel great because you're achieving things in life. But at the end of the day, by not giving, you're gonna feel lonely, you're gonna feel empty. So what that you achieved these things? If you can't give, or you're too stingy, if you're not a generous person, you're gonna feel really empty inside. Do live more frequently as much. Oh, you're so sweet. Manifesting not on purpose, but my happiness is evil or God's gift. Manifesting not on purpose, but my happiness. That is the goal, to be happy. The goal is to be happy, but going towards your life purpose makes you happy. Going towards your dream makes you happy, right? So the goal, yes, it is happiness, because if your happiness is being with people around you and so on and like little things in life, that's fine. That's fine if that's enough for you, right? For me personally, that's not enough, because that's not, I don't know, for me that's not enough, right? For me, my big happiness comes when I'm creating things, when I get so obsessed, so lost in my business by creating stuff, right? And then I'm see the result, I see what I did, what I achieved. That's what makes me happy. And after a while, your goals and your dreams can change as well, right? Like, for example, I'm gonna be really honest, like when I started my relationship business, I was like so happy with every single thing, right? Like climbing, like, okay, how do you do this business? How do you do that? In the beginning, it was like, oh, relationship advice, putting things together. This is so like fascinating, right? After I figured that all out, I'm like, okay, how do I make business fascinating, right? Now I'm like, kind of not, but I'm doing okay, right? Now I'm like, okay, my business is kind of rolling, which is cool, thank you God, right? But now I'm like, okay, what is this faith thing? How does that work? Why am I so drawn to that, right? And now this is what I'm studying. I'm actually really studying my faith big time, like every day, probably 5 hours at least. So it's like, so what my point is, like, I'm not influencing you to study your faith, but you can change things. Once you learn something, that one thing might take you to something else. You learn that thing, it might take you to something else. So it's like, it's growth in life. And growth is never just one thing. Growth can be many different things. Maybe I remember when I was working as a nanny, the reason it started like that is because I was really pushed my whole life into many things, like university, which I didn't want to study, subject which I was not really relating to. Basketball in the beginning, I didn't like it. When I started to love it, it's like I was always pushed. So actually, when I started being a nanny, I was doing something that I really loved, because I'm quite very feminine, right? So I was like, I really, really enjoyed it. Like the children's psychology, I was on that case. For the first 5 years, I was obsessed with my nanny job. I was really put down for it, to be honest, because people like take these things for granted. But you know, if people have problems, we have problems. But my point is, like, things can change, your dreams can change, your goals can change, and it's all basically about what makes you happy, what gives you the fulfillment, no matter what other people say. Can you please share how to make vision boards? I used to make vision boards, but I'm not sure is it still aligned with what I believe in. So I think I have a video on that. And AUA Miss Men wanna fool around, say, oh, I'm different. I like open-minded women. I'm also very open-minded. With open-minded, right? This is how I see open-minded. Open-minded, you're an open-minded person when somebody comes to you, when you, let's say, when you are a Christian, right, a practicing Christian, and you have a very practicing Muslim friend, right, and you're best friends. That to me is an open-minded person. Okay, it's not, or another, you know, somebody who else is kind of different than you or believes in different stuff, and you're friends, right? That's an open-minded person. I don't see having one-night stands or threesomes or sleeping around being as an open-minded. I see that as being stupid, as being naive and stupid. So if a guy would say like, oh, I really like naive women, are you one of them? That would actually make more sense. Being naive and overgiving as a woman was a problem that I inherited from my mother. Some people really believe that it's a positive thing. No, giving is a positive thing. Being a good person is a positive thing. Naive, like, what are the consequences of being naive? What are the consequences of being naive? You're used and abused. You are lied to. Then you start blaming, complaining usually. You start getting a lot of insecurities. Your worth goes down, right? So you become a helpless woman long term if you are a naive woman. How is that good? How is that good? A confident woman, a good woman, is a woman who takes responsibility for herself, who is confident, who is fearless, who is giving, who does not play with devil, okay? Who sets her boundaries. Being a good person doesn't mean somebody mess you up and you're like, oh, I'm such a good person, I will have you back in my life because I'm such a good person. No. Yes, God and like the rest of people teach us about forgiveness, and forgiveness is a must. I literally forgiven everybody who has ever done anything bad to me, right? Like, let go, forgive, let go, forgive, let go. That should be your motto. However, if somebody has done something bad to me, right? They come to me and we did something bad to me and go like, oh, Greta, I'm so sorry, blah, blah, blah. Can't, like, please forgive me. Oh, yes, okay. Okay, so I see your explanation. Yes, you are forgiven. I forgive you, but I'm sorry, but you know, I don't want to play with you anymore. You know, when the boy comes to you, when you're a child, right? And he, let's say, takes takes the head off your doll, right? And he comes to you and he says like, oh, I'm so sorry. Yeah, that's okay, but I'm not gonna give you my dolls anymore because, you know, I appreciate them and I don't want this to happen again. But yeah, like, you know, I forgive you, just keep your distance, please. That's forgiveness. You don't need to take them back. That's being naive. That's naive. When people come back, they like, okay, I forgive you, I done my bit. If you want to manipulate, not manipulate, that's your problem. I'm good. Greta, do you get depressed sometimes, and what do you do to overcome it? I get sad, right? I get sad sometimes, that's for sure. I think it's humanly impossible not to get sad. Before, if I would feel in a bad mood or I would get sad, I was into law of attraction before, so I would say a lot of positive affirmations and, you know, like I would do all of this stuff. However, through doing some research and through going through some bad experiences, I don't do that anymore. I basically pray. Because as I said, I really study my faith now a lot. So now if I feel bad or something is on my chest, I pray. I pray and I ask God for guidance, and I just ask for guidance. I'm like, show me a way. I can't figure this out. Show me a way, and I love that. That is the answer. I know it doesn't sound like ladies, the answers that I'm gonna be giving you, they may not sound very cool self-love answers, you know. They may not sound very cool self-love answers, what a lot of self-love gurus or coaches are preaching right now. And I could give you those very cool self-love answers. I have no problem with that, right? But I don't want to, because I faced some major consequences of following those very cool self-love answers. So, and I don't want you guys to experience what I did, because it was not the most happy or pleasant experience. So I rather sound a bit uncool and tell you to pray rather than be the cool one where you can end up being harmed long term. And if you don't believe me, like I would just say, just look up on YouTube the consequences of New Age, for example. I think being bad is also when you behave very arrogant. I think being bad is also, yeah, you cannot be arrogant for X. Me is very important, guy. Behave, yeah. Arrogance is a bad thing. Being like having a pride and arrogance. This is where I kind of burned a little bit. Didn't burn, but like, then I was going with my business. I started, and when I was following the, you know, like what the self-love gurus are preaching, I felt a little bit like you are who you surround yourself with. So everybody had to be like on my level or higher, saying that, you know, we had to be really ambitious, really into the goals or above. Otherwise, I'm like, no, I don't have time for this, right? And where it led to me, it just was, I felt like an outsider, but I was giving myself excuses that this is what happens when you're really passionate. You are an outsider. And after going through a bad experience, I was talking to my little sister actually, and she said like, Greta, you know what, like I felt like you were judging me a lot. I felt like I'm never good enough for you, like you're judging me a lot. And I never knew that my little sister felt this way. But by her saying the stuff, I was like, wow, you know, like I knew that probably I'm judging people, but I didn't know that we can feel it, you know. So when my sister shared it with me, I was like, what? Well, I kind of smiled because I was like, oh my God, I'm sorry. But like, I'm a bit of a cheeky person, so it made me smile. She didn't see the smile. I was like, I'm so sorry. But it made me come back to earth. It definitely made me come back to earth and become a bit more, just become genuine. So confidence, be fearless, uplifting people, staying genuine, no arrogance, no pride, no judging, like appreciating each other's gifts. And I'm so happy that I feel like I found this balance, because I have like so much more respect for people than I used to have. You know, if your goal in life is to just be a housewife and you know and so on, and if it makes you happy and you can find some cool things to do with that, that's your choice, you know, and I'm only happy for you. If you like something else, you know, like, it's all you can do is respect others, be respectful, stay humble, and be happy. And the other thing, what put me back a bit to earth, people who have helped me when I had my bad experience, people who have helped me in my case the most, were the ones that I never expected help from. I never expected help from those people because I was judgmental, right? So I was like, you can't help me, you know, like you're focused on this, you can't help me, right? But then those people came and they helped me. I felt guilty. Oh my God, I felt really guilty. I felt really guilty. So, yeah, but you know, it's like a life lesson, it's a life experience, and I'm actually really glad that I went through this now, and it didn't reach too high or something. I didn't realize that too late, or I didn't realize that once I died, you know, like I realized it now. So I'm just happy that I'm actually happy I experienced it, because now I can share it with you and be like, you know, like, if you're gonna go this way, that's cool, but it's just not gonna be healthy for you, no matter what the self-gurus are preaching. um I think being bad is also when you behavior. Yeah, okay, I love examples you give to. Yeah, like, I'm just, you know why, ladies, I'm secure with myself. This is why I'm sharing these things. I'm not insecure over these things, because we are all humans. We are all sinners. We are all making mistakes, right? And if somebody's gonna be judging me for what I'm sharing, well, we have problems. Like, are we perfect? You know, as it says, like, if you want to stone, as Jesus said, like, if you want to stone this woman, okay, if you don't have any sin, you know, throw the first stone. So what are you gonna judge me for? What? I'm a human being. I'm just sharing my experience. Hopefully it's gonna help you. I also have the same dream. How can you make a balance of work, hobby, self-care, university, busy? You know, ladies, this is what it is. If you It's organizing yourself, so you have to be organized. Like, I have notebooks that I fill up every week. It's nearly like a new notebook. So I do have a diary which I fill up every single day, right? And balance is important in life, even though I didn't believe in balance before. um, if you really have a goal, the balance is, to be honest, is a bit out of the picture for those couple of years where you can, make that goal a bit more, how shall I say it, manageable, then you can go back into more balanced life. Balance in life is very important. Sometimes we kind of need to put it aside for that time being to achieve something that we want to achieve. So we're gonna have to sacrifice a lot. However, this should never be your forever goal, because then you're not really enjoying life. Because to enjoy life, you cannot just be focused on this thing forever. You actually you need more balance in your life. So you can still achieve your goals by having some kind of balance, but it's just you're gonna achieve your goals slower. That's all that it's gonna be. You will still achieve, you will still get where you want to get. You're just gonna get there slower. Whereas when you sacrifice a lot and when you're just focused on your goal, it comes faster. Because if you're putting all the time, it just makes sense, right? Like, you can read a holy book in 2 years, or you can read it in 6 weeks if so it's kind of the same thing. I hate when people say you are too good with people. Even if I decide to do that thing after considering the benefits for me and others. I mean, I find that common if you know what? At the end of the day, if you give to someone, you feel good inside. It makes you feel good. So when somebody says you're too good to people, you know, it could be maybe because you give and you expect something in return, so you complain that we didn't give you anything back. So then people might say, oh, you're too good to people because you give and we take advantage of you, or you don't get anything in return because you're complaining. They say you're too good, right? But if you're actually freely giving because you feel like freely giving, it's because ultimately you feel better. Because the art of giving is that first you feel better, you feel like a good person. It's like charity. When you're giving, I would always say, if you're giving to someone freely, look at it like you're giving to charity. Then that way it will really make you feel good. Hi Greta, can you please make a video giving points so people can take advantage? Thank you very much for all. Okay, so again, if you're giving with an intention that you're giving to a charity, then you don't expect anything in return and you just feel good for giving, right? Like if you're walking past a homeless person and you bought him a cup of coffee and a sandwich, oh, I'm such an amazing person, I'm so good, you know, like makes you feel good, right? I remember one time I did that, not one, but like I did that, and there was a guy who was checking me out at that time, and he was shocked, and he said like, "Is he your friend?" It's like, geez, like you never bought like a one coffee and a sandwich, you know? It's so funny. Anyway, so but other times with giving, if you're in a relationship or with friends, then yes, there has to be balance, and there has to be you know, we need to reciprocate and so on. You don't want to be that person that we are taking advantage of you. Like for example, I like to give to my parents a lot. Why do I like to do that? Because I know they gave me everything they could when they raised me. There were times when he had a lot, there were times when he had nothing. They still gave me everything they could. So now, if my mom wants this, or like, or she's like, you know, like, oh, Greta, you got this? I like your top, you know, like, Greta, very nice top. I'm like, oh my God, my mom wants my top, you know? But it's like, cause they gave me so much, I'm happy to give them back. So it's like giving back, you know? If, however, somebody's there just like, oh, you know, Greta's the giver, you know, let's take advantage of her. Good luck with that, you know? It's like you need to have your standards, you need to have your boundaries, but they're also like, you know, you need to give freely sometimes just to kind of make yourself feel good and make a world a better place. And I'm not talking here about relationships, by the way, you know, like I'm not talking here about guy and a girl. A guy should be giving you more. You're a lady. Like the attitude I have, I believe every man should have this type of attitude. Giving, take care of your girl, want to take care of your girl. You know, like it's this is the attitude that every single guy should have. You know, and by the way, I might buy a house for my parents one day, hopefully. I'm not buying a house for my husband. That's a big difference. If anything, the guy is buying it for me. That's a big difference, okay? Like, you're a giver, but it doesn't make you naive and where people can walk all over you or manipulate you. You know, that's different. I wish you would tell you what made you change. It was very crazy experience. Practicing law of attraction is not a sin as long as you evoke the power and God. Greta, I don't find excuses for judging people. Okay, practicing law of attraction is not a sin. Um, this is how I look at it, okay? So just how I look at it. God says there's only one God, and He is the creator, right? Only one God, and He is the creator of everything. I created the world, worship only me, only one God, right? Law of attraction says you are the creator of everything. You create everything. Whatever you will want, you will ask for it and you're gonna get it in return. So vision boards, whatever, you ask for it. Law of attraction, energy, right? You're not calling it God, you're calling it everything in the world is energy. So everything's created by energy. You are energy, the world is energy. If you want more positivity, you stay positive, you're gonna get more positivity. If you're gonna be negative, you're gonna get more negativity. You know, it's all energy. So it's not, law of attraction doesn't say God, you know, it does not say God. Yes, it calls the energy sometimes a divine energy. It calls things sometimes good spirits, you know, good spiritual energy. How do you, oh gosh, I don't want to go this way, but how do you know when you're, I can't say this because I'm gonna be like, I'm like, oh, I really want to, but I don't feel like I can say this stuff, right? Yet. Let's see how I feel about it later. But let me tell you this. Devil calls himself angel of light. He's the biggest deceptor of the whole universe, and he calls himself angel of light. That tells you something, hey? And we as people, we can manipulate, right? I teach you about games men play on women. I teach you on a lot of kind of manipulation stuff to be aware of it so you don't fall into the traps, right? So if I teach you this stuff as a human, and if you believe in what God has created, don't you think that the biggest deceptor will know the game a million times better than I do? Like it's there is no comparison. So, you know, in Bible it doesn't say go, if you want to manifest anything, go and read angel cards or look at the angel numbers, or go practice law of attraction. If anything, guys, if you're gonna open, you know, like sometimes, like I used to look at star signs before, and like if angel numbers and if law of attraction is correct, why is it always advertised next to star signs and tarot cards? Please explain that. Why next to star signs, if you're into star signs or tarot cards, if you're going on the website, you always see, oh, angel numbers, law of attraction. Why is it advertised next to each other? Why next to tarot cards or next to star signs, Bible is not advertised, or Quran is not advertised, or Torah is not advertised? Angel of light. Yeah. So I fell into this trap, ladies. I fell into this trap. I wouldn't, like what I'm saying now, you would never hear me saying this 3 months ago, but I fell into this trap. And the consequences were not, I am very, very grateful to God I'm alive. Let me tell you this. And I know for people who don't believe in God, we already think I'm bonkers. And I understand that actually, because I used to think like that 3 months ago. Literally 3 months ago, if somebody would tell me what I'm sharing with you, I would think like, ooh, something happened. Did she got a bit like, you know, ate a magic mushroom or something, you know, like what happened to her? No. Now, if somebody would say it's gonna come from heaven, split the sea, I'll be the first one like waiting for that to happen. And yeah, so guys, anyway, I know this is a bit crazy. I don't want to get too much into detail because, like, you know, this is already, like I said, so much already to you guys. But I'll just say, um, be careful, you know, like do this. What I would recommend is do this. Whatever step you take in life, this will never go wrong. Whatever step you take in life, first look at the positive consequences of what it could happen, and always look at the negative consequences of what it would happen. If you believe in law of attraction, look at the positive consequences. We will see like, oh, you create your own universe, energy, positivity. Oh, cool, right? And then next, see, I'm a bit, you know, and next, look at the negative circumstances of what it could bring. And I'm gonna tell you on YouTube many videos on that. Angel numbers, positive, angel numbers, negative. Tarot cards, positive, tarot cards, negative. Look at that. You know, like don't like whatever. Personal development, positives. Personal development, negative. Personal development, you are who you surround yourself with. Only surround yourself with people on top. Positives, negatives. Broccoli, you ate broccoli, positives, negatives. Yeah, so, okay. Okay, ladies, that is it, I think, for today. And yeah, and you girls have a beautiful day. I hope you enjoyed my live. Can't wait to see the comments. Please don't call me crazy. This is what guys do to me nowadays. We know that I coach women how not to be crazy because like, crazy Greta. But when you know you're not crazy, it doesn't affect you. But yeah, anyway, it's funny. Cool. So kisses. Have a beautiful day. And yeah, that's it. Bye, girls.